Welcome to Perfectionist Fake Podcast.
This is episode 2, part 1 of our podcast, and today our guest speaker is
Josue Perdomo.
So, Josue, are you aware that this is the second month of our podcast and the topic is positive friends?
Yes, I'm very much aware.
So, do you think that is a strength or weakness on your wheel?
Having positive friends?
Yes.
I believe that it's a strength, it's a positive thing to have positive friends. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think your positive friend circle is pretty big, or do you think you keep it at like a low?
Well, like I always say, I talk to everybody that I come across with, I talk to everybody. But friends, I just have my own little group that I like to just share thoughts with, and I would say that they're pretty positive. Sometimes, but but they're pretty positive most of the time, and they've helped me through some tough times. So,
do you say you have some friends that are like that you could consider like family, like siblings?
yes, I think I would consider my friends family because we've gone through stuff together, and I guess family would be considered somebody that's looking out for you and who's with you by your side. So, I would consider them family.
Do you feel like you have grown in the past years? Because you're a junior, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you feel like your positive friends have changed since freshman year and going now as a junior? Like your little circle, do you think it's changed?
No, I think my circle of friends has pretty much stayed the same. Just as.
So I'm guessing you got close to them. You got
Yes.
like a lot.
Yes. At the beginning, we used to be like very awkward, very like you give me my space and I'll give you yours. But now we're like all over each other as friends, obviously. But yeah,
I can feel that.
Freshman years.
When it comes to friendships, what value do they bring to your life?
well, I guess friendship. Well, like you this podcast, I'm guessing we're gonna talk about over. But well, it depends what type of friends you have. If you have like pessimist, negative friends, then it's gonna have a negative impact on your life. If you're trying to go to your friends for some advice and all they give you is negative talk, then it's not gonna really help you or build you up. It's just gonna make you feel worse. In my case, my friends, they have been there for me whenever I need them. So it has made, I guess, in some way my life easier. When I'm going through something that let's say for any reason I can't go to my parents, my family, I have my friends that are like my school family that I could run to, and they help me out through time. So yeah, I think it's a good.
It's like a second family.
And like, if you could just like give us an example, is there a time where you went to your friends that are your family instead of your actual blood family?
I think it depends on what area of my life we're dealing with. Like if it's something like really personal that only my parents know how to handle, then I run to them. Like for example, there was this one time where in school there was this this person that was making me feel bad about myself. It was making me feel like I was nothing, and it was a really hard time. And at that point, I didn't want to tell my parents because they were gonna think something beyond what that situation really was.
Yeah.
So I ran to my friends, and they helped me through it. And so, we got that issue resolved. And so it was nice knowing that I could rely on my friends and knowing that they were by my side. So.
It's nice to have friends you can tell these things to, because like sometimes when you tell a parent something, they tend to overreact about things, and while it's like your friends, like you tell them something and they can give you like advice. It's a different perspective. It's not a parent perspective. So Josue, do you feel comfortable like sharing your vulnerabilities with your friends? Like,
yes, I do feel comfortable sharing my vulnerabilities with my friend. For example, there was this one time where Marlene, I'm really close with Marlene. I feel that in freshman year I was friends with Ashley and Marlene, but I feel like as we've grown together in school, I feel like our friendship with Marlene has grown, and she's really helped me through some tough times. Like My problem is that I have a very hard time saying no to people, and I'm always trying to live up to those expectations that other people might have. I'm always trying to be who they want me to be, and that's something that I always struggle with. And there's just times where like I'm feeling very anxious about it, and I always run to Marlene. I'm like, Marlene, help me out. I'm over here spamming her on Snapchat. I'm like, Marlene, what should I do? What do you say? And she's hearing me out. And sometimes I feel bad because I feel like I'm always ranting about my problems to her, but she's had patience with me, and that's what I really like about her. That she's always been there for me, and so.
That's definitely what friends are for.
Yeah,
Pick you up when you feel like you have no clue where to go.
One time I interrupted her as she was at a concert, at the Ivan Coronel concert, and I was over here texting her like, Marlene, help me out, and she was like, she tried to do the best she could, but.
That's sweet.
So do you think she normally gives you like positive advice with like a good attitude?
Yeah, she's always been a positive person. Every time there's something bad happens, even within like our friend group, when something bad happens, she always tries to lean towards the more positive side, look out for solutions, and that's something I really like about her, because sometimes I could be negative myself. So.
What do you feel like are some like traits that you would look into for a positive friend? Like, what do you want your positive friend to have?
I guess it doesn't apply only to friends. I guess in general, I always look for honesty, because honesty is something I really value, because sometimes I feel that they're not being honest to me, and they're like only telling me what I want to hear. When I always tell Marlene, don't be afraid to tell me the truth. Like, even if it hurts me, if it makes me go to the corner and cry my eyeballs out, like, it doesn't matter. I would rather much hear the truth and improve myself than to hear a lie and continue in my bad ways.
What you need to hear.
Yes.
I feel like that's important too, because if you go to a friend in like your most vulnerable state and they give you like a false statement what you want to hear, you can't grow from that. You just stay in like this stuck little bubble. But it's by them like popping in and being like, hey, here's the truth, it's gonna hurt, but like here's a way to go from it. You can grow that way, and I feel like having a friend that's honest is actually really important.
Also, not being too harsh with it too.
Yeah, you don't want people to just suck up to you.
Yeah.
Because then there's like the true friends that like know you well enough to know he needs to hear the truth, he or she needs to hear the truth, right? And
Or what's good, they want the best for you, so they'll tell you the truth.
yes, that too, where they're like so for me, I know that I'm a people's pleaser. I just want everyone happy. I just have to have everyone happy in order for me to be happy. Because if like 50 people are happy and one person is still upset, I'll like leave the 50 for the one kind of thing. And it's just like, I'm sorry, and that's like, it's like my problem, you know. And my best friend too, she'll set me up. She'll like, Matea, like, you can't have everyone be like okay with you, you know. Like, there's gonna be times where you're gonna, how do you say, like, disappoint someone, or they're not gonna meet someone's expectations, and that's okay, because at the end it's like you have to make sure you're also taking care of yourself, and that's what your positive friends are there for, because they like guide you.
And I guess that's something I've learned too, that people are gonna be people, and they're always gonna have, no matter how hard you try, there's always gonna be that one person that has that one bad thing to say. So it's kind of hard to please people. Yeah, but as you said, that's what we have friends for, because they're there when we most need them. So
It's hard to get away from rumors. There's always people trying to spread something, or some people just want to start drama. They just want to start a pot, you know.
Yeah, some people just be too bored nowadays.
Yeah, no.
It's hard. It's hard to find some good friends sometimes. It can be hard.
Yeah, and there's people that believe those rumors too.
At this time in school too.
Like, everybody knows each other.
Yes.
oh
Such a
yes,
spread
exactly. Like here, since we're so small, word spreads like.
Yeah, it can, like, you'll text a message, you'll tell your friend, and before, like, by the end of the day, almost have to split class.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh,
True. I don't know. You all be friends with. But like, my friends don't go tell them my stuff.
Right. It's not their business to
trust
tell.
me, Lila, once you become a senior, it'll get there. Some people just
Been there,
get,
done that. Please.
You're only halfway there.
some people just get tired of, like, nothing to do, and then
They'll
just
talk
like,
about it. I've seen it firsthand.
Mhm.
That's why you gotta be careful.
Could be some people just want to get it off their chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, be careful with like the friends you make. It can be hard.
So, like, how do you think having these positive friends have made you, like, realize something about your life? Like, how do you think you're different because of these positive friends?
Well, that's kind of tricky, at least for me to answer, because like I said, I've been going through this point in my life where I have to think about myself and love myself for who I am, and so that's been kind of hard for me, because I've always tried to please others, and when it comes to me, when it comes to me trying to make a decision, it's hard because I'm like, is it supposed to be this easy to make a choice of your own? But yeah, my friends like that, like I said, Marlene, back to the picture. She's always been there. She's like, it doesn't matter what other people say. Just do whatever's gonna make you happy. If it's gonna help you, make you happy, then go for it. And that's been a little hard for me to swallow because it's hard. I can't just be like, okay, I'll just be me and be happy.
I've noticed it's so hard because the amount of advice someone can give you, nothing will ever change unless you decide to change. You know what I mean? Because like my friend can't change me. It's me who decides to change myself, right? But it's so hard to like get away from your norm because if your norm is pleasing people, making sure everybody's okay, eventually you tend to lose yourself, but you still think in the end it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. To the point where like me as a senior now, since freshman year, I've always tried to like how to say, like, be able to be there for everybody, but I've noticed that while I give a piece of myself to everybody, I leave nothing for myself. And so I've noticed that's been a little difficult with me, which is why my positive friends or my closest friends have told me, like, hey, you're probably giving them too much. You need some time to yourself, or you know. So do you think Marlene does a good job in like making sure you get enough like self-care?
Yes, she definitely does. One time I was feeling horrible. She had to fill out the counselor form, and I told her I didn't want to. I was gonna get mad if she did. She still did it anyways, and I'm thankful because at the end of the day, it did help. It did help me. I talked to the counselor and we resolved the issue and everything was fine. At first, I kind of did want to like get angry because I felt like Marlene was pressuring me into talking to the counselor, but at the end of the day, it really helped, and so I'm happy she did it.
See, we need more people like that, and also on your part, we need more people like you because most people do get mad and they don't realize the good in the situation.
Yeah.
And they don't see the bright side of it. So that's actually a good situation for both of us.
It's like people are like too prideful to admit that they need help.
Yeah. A lot of the times.
I feel like it's scary to be vulnerable though, so they put up like this prideful thing, and it kind of sucks because in the midst of you being so prideful, sometimes you tend to lose really good relationships.
Or you lose yourself.
Yeah, and going off of that, there was a point where I wasn't like always like this, because there was a point like when I was in middle school, I was that yapper that always talked, that always tried. I was just like me. I was living free, but then in middle school, everybody started teasing me or bullying me, doing stuff to me that made me feel bad about myself and who I was. So slowly, I started like hiding myself in this little bubble and I was trying to be whoever people wanted me to be. And so I got to high school, and when I met Marlene and Ashley, they knew there was something wrong, but I wasn't able to like express myself to them because it was not something that I done in a while. But I guess I've built that relationship of confidence and trust with them that I feel that sometimes I'll overshare, I feel like, to them, but I don't know if that makes sense, but
Do you feel like you've been a positive friend to them in return since they've been such a positive friend to you?
Well, I say that I have, that I try to. I don't know what they would say if they were here and I were to ask them, but for the most part, I do try to be there for them, just like they've been there for me. Every time they're like, Josue, what should I do? Or this happened or that happened. I try to give my honest opinion. I try to look towards the positive side. I know I can't always be as positive as Marlene, but I certainly do try.
That being said, if something were to happen, do you think they'd be like the first to call you or the first to be right there next to you?
I don't think so. Yes, we're close friends, but I don't know. I feel that they've had like stronger relationships with friends from the past. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how to explain. Like, yes, they would run to me, but I don't think I would be their first option.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make me feel bad because I sometimes don't know what to say. So I just don't want to say the wrong thing. But at the same time, I do want to be there. But, yeah.
So do you think you're more of like the harsh truth, or more of like that someone will tell them the truth, but like putting in a little bit of like carrying words behind it to like
Sugarcoat.
Yeah, sugarcoat. How do you think you are?
I definitely don't like saying the truth as it is because I'm too scared of like hurting their feelings or thinking that I'm being negative. I always try to like not sugarcoat it too much, but not give them the raw truth just like that. I try to be in between, like I don't know, like find that
balance.
Yeah, balance.
Yeah, that's a good balance to have because you don't want to like be relentless and just hurt their feelings.
I do wonder, because I know that, so for example, my best friend, who is practically my family, I've had her around for 6 years. So when is it, did you meet Marlene and, what was her name? Did you meet them like freshman year?
Yes, freshman year.
Ashley, okay. So you met both of them in freshman year?
Yeah, Ashley and Marlene, and then freshman year.
Did y'all connect over like over a certain activity, or how did y'all come to who said hi first?
I don't know if
It
Or
was
was
probably
it
them,
one
huh?
of those friendships where y'all just kind of like became friends? Like I know that's how it was with my best friend. I couldn't tell you when we became friends, but was it like that?
So what happened was, freshman year I was this awkward, ugly-looking dude. Not saying I'm handsome right now either, but freshman year I was like just very reserved to myself or whatever. I think it was Ashley who took initiative. And going back to the positive friends thing, she was going through a hard time too during freshman year. And so I guess she didn't have anybody else to rely on, so she decided to have faith and trust a stranger who was me. She took initiative. She was like, hi, and I was like, hi, like, what you doing talking to me? Like, I thought she was gonna be like everybody else, just like ask me for the answers or whatever and then leave, because that's how I thought it was gonna end up. But no, she started talking to me. We started hanging out. We started hanging out in Mr. Wall's classroom and playing Uno. Uno. We just started like sharing stuff, and then we became close friends. And then I met Marlene, and then that's how our whole
little group
started forming. And so I think it was her who took initiative in this friendship. But
friendship over Uno.
That's cute.
Yeah.
So I know you probably can't hear it right now, but how's the rain?
The rain. Okay. The rain makes sense. The rain.
Can't hear it. Okay.
They can't. It's a voice.
The rain. I like this weather. I really appreciate this weather. We haven't had this weather in like, I don't know, years. It's always hot and sunny, and so some rain is nice, but
Does it rain like lately?
It helps us cool down, and
It's like a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
It is.
Does this rain remind you of positive friends or like negative, gloomy, dark, evil friends?
Oh my gosh!
Well,
Maybe dancing in the
but
rain.
I think.
Or would you like?
Oh,
like,
actually,
what kind of mood does this set you in?
I was gonna say now that Adriana brings about the mood, so you know how like you can be vulnerable with those positive friends, right? Has there ever been like a moment that you shared with your friends, such as like dancing in the rain with your friends? Yeah, dancing in the rain. Have you?
You
ever
said you
danced
like to
in the
get
rain with your
wet, so.
Dancing in the rain. The only time the only time I was dancing in the rain is when I had to go to the restroom. It was raining, so I had to like run to the house.
So it was, okay.
I was doing the tippy dance, but no, but I think it would be nice, I guess.
Or the clown, the dancer
But-
does. Oh, he's like.
We haven't danced in the rain yet, but I'll make sure to put that in the bucket list.
Because I know one of my friends in our old building, you know how it was like gusty like outside? It was outside and inside. When it was raining, you know how like the sides of that, where that big tree was and where the core was at, they always had like lots of rain, and sometimes it'd be puddles too. They would go out there, dance in the rain, come back soaking, and the teachers would be like, go get a towel.
That's
you know?
exactly what I did.
You're making
Yeah.
Well, like
Stop.
I have like gone outside and just get soaked in the rain. But
remember-
necessarily with friends, nah. But
I remember one of those times I was caught.
You had your dogs out.
I had my dogs out. I had climbed the basketball thing and I was sitting on top of it and I was just chilling.
Dogs out.
Yes, dogs out freely. I got recorded.
It's because he had to grip the ring of the basketball thing to climb it. Because his shoes would just slip and he'd fall. And so, but it was one of those moments. It was like
That was like a core memory.
it was a core memory though, because his friends were like, they weren't like, you know,
We were all trying to play basketball with a wet ball.
and yeah, they didn't have like plans with like him to fall and get a concussion or anything like that. It was more it's more like to create a memory. It was more something like a sweet thing. Like,
Cool,
and he
cool.
didn't, because like they were like cheering him on and telling him you got this and stuff. And then he got like a really sick picture where he was just like chilling on like the little
The top
thing
and
with
the
Feet out.
yeah, and then we could see they're like wrapped around the thing. Like, it's pretty cool.
with the clouds.
gnarly.
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 So that's what I was saying, like, because that probably being out in the rain, being all quiet and stuff, it's sometimes, okay, so like how do I word this? Sometimes you don't have to do the most funnest, exciting thing to have a good time with your friend, you know what I mean? Like literally just sitting down, looking up at the stars, being in the rain, I don't know, like reading together, doing like one of those activities
Just
that like
like the
connects
small
you, just like a
things.
presence
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like, have you had shared one of those with your friends before?
Yes, I have. I have like several moments, but there's too much that I can't remember.
I understand.
But I guess there was this one instance where I was supposed to do homework at home, but I was feeling kind of down, and so I called my friend, and we were there talking for like hours and hours
Been
into
there.
the night, and so it really helped me because I was like, it was fun because we laughed, we cried together, and it was fun because I feel like at that I had somebody that I could relate to at that moment, and I didn't feel alone, and it was nice, and I always say that if I would relive that
Yeah.
moment, it wouldn't be so bad.
And this weather reminds me of like those times, like whenever the weather's like really bad and you just want someone to text. And so it just, I don't know, like whenever you have that one person, it makes you feel more comfortable.
Well, to close out on a good note about rain and friendships, this was episode 2, part 1 of Perfectionist Fake Podcast. Thank you for being here, Josue.
Yes, thank you for inviting me.
Of course, and I'm so glad to hear from you. Okay.
Definitely.
Bye.
That rain talk was awkward.